Okay, so prices, they're literally everywhere, right? But have you ever really stopped to think about where those numbers come from? It's not random, nope. It turns out there's this whole fascinating strategy behind every single price tag, and that's exactly what we're going to break down.
I mean, you know the deal. That brand new phone comes out, or that gaming console everyone's dying to get. It costs a fortune at launch, right? And of course, the early adopters, they just gotta have it. But then, you wait a year, maybe even less, and bam, the price is dropped. A lot. So what's going on? Is it just random? No way!
And that's the whole point. Because a price isn't just a number, it's a strategy. It's a really powerful tool that companies use to send a message, to take on their competitors, and basically to steer a product through its entire life.
See, a company doesn't just, slap a price on something and call it a day. They build this whole pricing structure that actually evolves. It's kind of like a story that unfolds as a product is launched, finds its footing, and then really hits its stride.
All right, let's dive in at the very beginning. Imagine a company's got a brand new product, something totally innovative. That launch phase is super tricky, and that very first decision they make on price, it can literally make or break the whole thing. And they've really got two main ways to go.
So you've got two big choices. On one hand, you can go with market skimming. That means starting high. And on the other, you've got market penetration, starting low. These are completely different ways of thinking about how to launch. So let's look at each one.
Okay, so market skimming. This is the move for the innovators, the real game changers. They set that price high right out of the gate, targeting those customers who are willing to pay a premium just to be the first ones to have it. This lets them skim the most money they can from each group of buyers, which, by the way, helps pay back all those research and development costs super fast. Plus, it immediately creates this image of quality and exclusivity.
Then you've got market penetration, which is, well, the total opposite. Here, it's all about speed and getting as many people on board as possible. You launch with a really low price to grab a ton of buyers right away. The goal is to snatch up a huge piece of the market before your competitors even know what hit them. Now, there's a risk for sure. It could start a price war, but if it works, you could end up dominating the market.
So, that's the launch. But let's be real, a successful product is almost never a one-and-done thing. Pretty soon, you've got a whole family of related products, and that's when pricing gets way more complex. All of a sudden, you're not just thinking about one item anymore, you're pricing a whole lineup.
And one of the classic strategies here is something called captive product pricing. You have absolutely seen this. Think about it. You buy a printer for a pretty low price, right? Or maybe a razor handle. But then the captive products, the stuff you have to buy to keep using it, like the ink cartridges or the razor blades, those have crazy high markups. That's where they make the real money.
Another one you'll definitely recognize is bundling. This is when companies package a bunch of products together. Think of a fast food combo meal or a software suite. They offer the whole bundle at a reduced price, and it encourages you to buy stuff you probably wouldn't have bought on its own. The whole trick is making that bundled price feel like such an amazing deal that you just can't say no.
Okay, so we've got our launch strategy, we've got our product family priced out. All good, right? Well, not so fast. The market is constantly changing, so that's where price adjustments come into play. Prices can't just be set in stone. They have to be flexible to deal with different customers, new situations, and yeah, even the weird ways our brains work.
I'm talking about the power of 99 cents. Come on, you've seen this a billion times. Something isn't priced at 10 bucks, it's $9.99. And believe me, there's a very good, very psychological reason for that. Yeah, it's literally called psychological pricing. Because our brains don't just crunch the numbers like a calculator, we have an emotional reaction to them. When you see a price like $9.99 instead of $10, they call that odd pricing, your brain just perceives it as a better deal. It feels so much cheaper, even though logically we know it's only a 1-cent difference. It's wild.
Okay, here's another clever one. The loss leader. This is when a store takes a super popular item, like milk or eggs, and prices it so low that they actually lose money every time they sell one. Now, why on earth would they do that? Simple. To get you into the store. They are betting big that once you're in there to grab that cheap milk, you're going to fill the rest of your cart with all the other stuff that actually makes them a profit.
So, everything we've covered so far has been about pretty stable pricing strategies. But technology is changing the game completely. It's pushing us away from a world of fixed, static prices into a new reality where prices are always moving.
Let me give you a great real-world example. The shipping giant DHL. So they used to just have one standard price for everyone. But then they tried something new. They started testing out different prices for different customers who called them. And the result? They saw a huge jump in the number of people who actually ended up shipping with them. We're talking a boost in conversions from 17% to nearly 25%. That's massive.
And this, my friends, is the world of dynamic pricing. It's the idea that a price isn't fixed at all. It can change constantly, minute by minute, based on all kinds of data, like how high the demand is, what time of day it is, and maybe even who you are. If you've ever got an airline ticket or used a ride-sharing app, you've seen this in action. The price is totally fluid.
Which brings us to a pretty big and kind of fascinating final question. As companies get better and better at collecting all this data about us, what we buy, what we look at, what we like, are we moving toward a future where everyone pays a different price for the exact same thing, where the price you see online is personalized just for you? It's definitely something to think about.